South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem doubled down on claims Thursday that drug cartels are operating in the state with connections to Native American tribes after multiple tribes in the state banned her from their lands over the comments. Noem said in a News Nation interview that she has evidence of cartel activity in the state and will present the evidence to the public Friday. They are definitely have set up operations in South Dakota. We've seen the banditos there. MS-13 is there, she said. They've recruited members from the tribes. The governor previously claimed that tribal leaders benefited from cartel activity. Those comments caused 5 South Dakota tribes to ban Noem from their lands. A leadership board of 6 recommended she be banned in a vote Friday. She blamed the criminal activity in the Biden administration and called on the tribal governments to step up their efforts against gang violence. These are some of my poorest communities, and they want safe communities. They want their children to be safe, she said. They don't want to have the type of violence happening outside their doors. I have no jurisdiction there because I'm a governor, she continued. If they're a sovereign nation, the federal government has to step in and the tribal leaders have to step in. Relations between the governor and the tribes have been strained since she took office in 2019. Some of the tribes have accused Noem, who has been floated as a potential vice presidential pick for former President Trump, of making decisions to boost Trump's campaign efforts. Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe spokesperson Ali Morin told The Hill last month that several tribes share the same sentiments regarding Noem, specifically that she does not respect or fully understand tribal sovereignty. Noem has repeatedly doubled down on the comments since being banned from the tribal lands, calling on tribes to back her law enforcement initiatives in the post shared on social media last week. Tribals leaders she put tribal with an S, or maybe The Hill did that. They like to make little errors and glitches like that. Tribal leaders should take action to ban the cartels from their lands and accept my offer to help them restore law and order to their communities while protecting their sovereignty, Noem wrote last week. We can only do this through partnerships because the Biden administration is failing to do their job. Thursday's comments came while Noem was on a trip to the U.S.-Mexico border in Texas. Noem ordered the state's National Guard to the border earlier this year to assist Texas efforts toward border security. So that's her pandering to Trump on immigration, his signature issue, by going to Texas instead of dealing with things that actually are having to do with her own state. What's interesting about this story is that you have to wonder if you're going to go and accuse tribal lands, these reservations that make up a very large portion of her state. I don't know what the exact amount is, but I know it's at least a fifth because currently, thanks to the 7 tribes banning her, she can't step foot in a fifth of her own state. But you make these comments that are very indicative of like these people are, you're trying to credit them unknowingly abetting criminals, right? And you have no proof. And then when all of them start going, you know what, lady, we don't want you here. If you're going to make comments like this, just don't even bother showing up on our land. Only after getting banned repeatedly from multiple tribes across the state, you can't even step foot over there anymore. Now suddenly you're going to show the evidence on tomorrow. Allegedly, we'll see what the evidence actually is. Maybe she'll hold a press conference or go on Fox News. You know, one or the other. Maybe both. Maybe we'll be lucky and it'll be just a double appearance. And when she says that the Biden administration is failing to do their job, well, she's had friction with these people since she took office in 2019 as governor. And who was president during that year? Trump. Now, of course, because she's a partisan hack who wants to be his running mate so badly, she's not going to say, well, during Trump's tenure, this same issue was going on, this issue that has affected my entire governorship. Because for those first 2 years, Trump was president. So if you want to blame the federal government for not going after these various cartels, then you should also lay the blame at the man that you're trying to be the running mate of, who I don't think he's going to pick her anymore after the whole thing with the dog in the book. But my point is that if she really believes this is some serious issue that needs to be resolved, oh my God, all the drug dealers are coming around, then where was this same outrage a couple years ago when you first started? You've been making comments like this for 5 years. And only under Biden do we need to criticize the person in the White House. And I'm not some Biden shill, so I'll be the first one to admit if he does something wrong. But it just seems weird to me that you don't actually try to address any of this with the people that you're chastising And only after they start banning you from being able to cross a fifth of your own state do you go, oh, you guys need to support me and I have evidence, I have proof, I swear I have proof. Just bizarre. Oh, but let's not forget the icing on the trash Sunday, if you will. She had the nerve, and I my thing is these people just they always pick out groups to scare somebody with. She had the nerve to invoke MS-13. I haven't heard MS-13 get mentioned like at all by any American politician, period, since the government shutdown and that midterm election, that 2018 midterm, when Trump was trying to scare people into thinking there was this caravan that's coming and it's containing all of these illegal immigrants. After that, I've really just not heard one word about any of these, like that specific group, that because they're not doing anything of any noteworthiness. So whenever you want to fearmonger about immigration, you just mention that group and mention some other ones and say that they're hiding in these areas that you don't have sovereignty over. And I guess that'll be enough to secure your support within the base of your party. But Noam is really fighting a losing battle. You're not going to get the tribal leaders to suddenly start supporting your initiatives when you're accusing them of abetting criminals with no evidence. And it just seems like she's going to end up having to be banned by all of the tribes in her state before she makes any attempt at an overture. And she still might not do it because she could look at the clock and say, well, I'm about halfway into my second term as governor. I don't really need them. Whatever. I can stand not being able to tour, 20% of my state. No big deal. Possibly more if I get banned by another tribe. So it's just interesting that these people can come on here and run their mouths and act like they really care about someone or something when, again, it's taken her this long to finally say, oh, here's the proof of this claim I've been making. If she was very concerned about the poor communities being ravaged by these criminals, she would have made an initiative in her first year as governor, but she didn't. Because the most important stuff to Noem as governor has been denying facts relating to climate change or mask mandates. It's been repealing even the little tiniest bit of gun laws like concealed carry. It's been having the most insane, barbaric, medieval abortion law you could imagine. This is not someone who's trying to actually improve the lives of any living person. And I'm glad the tribes recognize that. I hope the electorate in her state recognizes it too.